We now have another brief interview with Richard Coekin, who's continuing our morning talks. Thank you, Richard, very much. Yesterday you mentioned before becoming a pastor you were a lawyer, commercial lawyer. If I can ask you a slightly cheeky question, aren't all lawyers crooks helping other crooks get richer? What's the creation ministry good that you could do as a lawyer?
Yeah, no, fair enough. Well, look, like anyone else, lawyers are sinners, and not everything about lawyers is marvelous. But actually, when you think about it, lawyers can serve God in many ways. And obviously, there are three categories, I think, in how we do our work for God. One is in the content of the work that we do, which serves the righteous conduct of a society. So just in the actual work that we do. Secondly, in how we do it in a God-honouring way that commends Christ to people. And then in the opportunities for direct evangelism that work gives to us. So as a lawyer, in the work that you actually do, of course, in protecting people from exploitation in accordance with good law, lawyers do a fantastic thing, whether that's in the proper conduct of property relationships, in enabling businesses to run which employ people and give jobs and put food on the tables of families and improve the welfare of society. You need lawyers to manage the relationships of society, which is an incredibly important and righteous thing to do. And as with most professions, most lawyers are trying to do their best to do the right and good thing. Not always the case. So there's plenty to do as a lawyer. And then, of course, in how you do it, you can be very distinctive as a Christian lawyer, both in the motivations that you have and in how you do your law with scrupulous honesty and so on. And then, of course, there are opportunities to evangelize. So when I was a lawyer, I think I evangelized. I took out for lunch and went through 2 Ways to Live on napkins. 2 Ways to Live is an explanation of the gospel for everybody on my floor, every partner I sat with. I invited them to church. And I used to actually get a taxi, and we used to go around, pick up my mates from college or all other London firms and go to a lunchtime ministry. And in fact, one of my colleagues became a Christian. And in fact, a couple of years later, then he headed off to Africa, and I had a wonderful conversation with him last year on an iPad. He's in Malawi, helping people plant churches and with their agriculture. And he's seeing hundreds of people come to Christ. So great things can come from work in that way, in many different ways.
That's great, and that's great for us to be aware of as we're commending the priorities of God in salvation and the new creation. That's not speaking down about the goodness of God's creation and goodness of work in it.